So hi, this is Lisa with Queen Bee Creations, and I'm here today to share with you a super cute Wobble card. I don't know if you can see, it's kind of got a spring underneath it, so the little froggy kind of jumps around. And so I'm going to show you today how we make that. I've also got the, oops, this way, the well-written framelit dies. And kind of an array of colors. So this is the card we're going to make today. So hopefully you like it. Let's get to it. Here we go. There's my desk. So this card is going to start out with a Mossy Meadow card base. And so this is 8.5 by 5.5 scored at 4 1/4. That's what almost all of my card bases are. And then my standard insert or layer is just 1/4 inch smaller. So this will be 4 inches by 5 1/4. And this is what we're going to work with today. I'm using the Sew Hoppy Together stamp set. And I wanted this guy because he had his arms kind of up in the air, so he looked like he was kind of jumping around, but I didn't necessarily want his unicycle. So the way I did that was I came in with my marker and then just kind of colored the part I wanted to color. And I'm actually going with kind of the side. I don't know if you can see this, but I'm kind of dragging from the edge because I don't want to go straight down and ruin my tip. So I'm kind of dragging from the side and just applying ink all over where I want it to go. Now, if you don't have markers, don't panic. There's still a way to do this. What you can do is you can take Scotch tape, washi tape, any kind of masking material, I guess, and just cover up what you don't want it to use. So you would just set the tape over it, and then you could ink up your image, or actually you would ink up the image, then you would pull this off because it would have the ink on your washi tape, which you don't want. Hi, Barbara. And then you would be able to stamp and you would just get the part that you want. So that's how I got just the froggy. Now I know there are framelit dies that are coming, and they're out now, and I don't have mine yet. I plan to order them, but they're not here yet. So I just went around and I fussy cut them. Now, if you don't like fussy cutting, don't worry. There are some framelit dies as part of Sale-a-bration coordination, which is coming up, or happening right now, sorry. And then you would be able to just go over to your Big Shot and die cut him. Now he would give you the unicycle, but you just cut the unicycle off and it'd be all good to go. Also for my die cutting, what I did here is I have the word hooray. And so I used Mossy Meadow, Old Olive, and then Pear Pizzazz. I'm not real fond of gluing little tiny things, and so I love our adhesive sheets. And so what I did is I just cut little pieces of adhesive sheet the same size as the back of the material I was using. So when I die cut them, they're just going to be stickers, which I think is a whole lot easier to mess with. So like I said, I'm using the well-written dies. This is a fantastic set. It's I agree it's a little bit on the expensive side, but it comes with so much stuff and there's so many things you can do with it that, I mean, it's worth the price of 2 sets because you can get 4 or 5 sets worth out of this bundle. I mean, it covers everything. We've got sympathy, thanks, congratulations, happy birthday, Father's Day, anniversary, graduation, Mother's Day. I mean, they're all here. You could get this one set and you would cover like all sorts of things. So it's a super fabulous set. When I'm die cutting or at my parties, I will usually have this set out by the machines. And all it is it's one of those inexpensive picture frames. And then I put a sheet of the sticky magnet on it, and then I'll just set this on the table by the Big Shot, and then when they go to use the framelit, then it's there, and then when they're done using, they can put it away so that things are not as likely to get lost. Not saying it never happens, but it's one way to try to prevent it. So I'm just going to go through and cut these out. Now they're small, and so one of the things you can do is you can push them through on the edge, because you're going to get a little bit tighter connection rolling it close to the edge. And so there's my word. Oops, picked up a little straggler there. What I did for the, down here I've got the calla lilies, and that's out of the catch, best catch bundle. So that's the framelit dies that go with that stamp set, the fishing one. Because I just thought those worked really well with the frogs. It ended up being a little bit bigger than I needed for my card, so that's why it's kind of in the corner and offset, so that it didn't take up quite as much space. One more of these. Oh, how I started saying that was I went back and I cut another piece that had just the calla lily parts, so that I could cut these off and glue them on. Because I tried to go and just color them with the marker, and I guess on the camera it looks okay, but it wasn't brown enough for me. So what I did was I cut an extra one out of soft suede, and then I came in with the this is multi-purpose liquid glue, the Tombow, just in a different container that has kind of a smaller tip, kind of like our fine tip glue, only it's the it's the multi-purpose liquid glue. But so whatever you have that will work, it's up to you. I mean, and like I said, if you wanted to stay with just coloring them, I mean, that works well too. So there's my little plant. Now, like I said, when I put it on here, and I had it all the way on, and then I started arranging my words. So that's the light one. Here's my medium. And then this one. It kind of didn't give me room for my frog. He just kind of looked like he was, I don't know, there wasn't room for him. So what I did is when I went and glued this on, I used the glue and just kind of glued up half of it, the part that I thought was going to stick on the card. And then set it on there, and then I can come back from the back side and cut off this excess. So this allows me to still get the effect of the calla lilies, but not have it take up as much room. So just an idea. You can do that with stamps as well. I mean, don't feel like just because the stamp is large that you have to use the entire thing. A lot of times I will have the stamped image hang off the edge to save room, or to just make it look a little more artistic, give it some grounding. There's lots of different reasons to do it, but just don't feel that you have to have it all on the cardstock, because you don't. Like I said, I've cut these out to be stickers, and so I'm just poking out what's in the little holes. The take your pick tool would be great for this. Mine's here somewhere. But because it's got the adhesive sheets, now all I have to do is take this backing off, and it's a sticker. So it's already got all of the adhesive that I need on there. And so then I can just stick it straight to my card. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the top one on, and then I'm going to put the bottom one, and then I'm going to center the other one in the middle. This is the best way that I've found to get things to even up. You know, if I was to put this one on next and then this one, that maybe I wouldn't feel that they were centered correctly or they weren't spaced evenly. But if those two are on, and then I come back with the middle one and then just center it between the two, that's how I get the best placement. So there would be my 3 words. And so now we've got our frog. And like I said, you can die cut him or fussy cut him, whatever works for you. And then I colored him with the Stampin' blends. Seems like I've used these in every card I've made lately, but they're great. I'll just do up his belly. And then I came in with the dark, and I did his legs. And then some of his body, kind of shadowed it. Okay, so I've just given him a little bit of the dark, and then I'm going to come in with the light, and I'm going to make small circles. And then that's going to help to blend it. Now at first, you know, I'm going to lay down the color, and you're going to go, well, that didn't blend at all. You know, it's still, you can see the definite line, but that just means you need to keep coloring. Because the more that you color, the more it's going to blend. So don't panic. Just keep coloring, and it will eventually start to blend. Make those small little circles. I mean, if you're getting a really good effect, it's going to bleed all the way through to the other side, and that's what we want. So if you look at the back side, it bled all the way through. So that is the desired effect. Don't panic. Okay, and now to make him a wobble, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in some of this. I happen to have floral wire. I've also heard of people using jewelry wire. You want about a 26 gauge. And I'm just wrapping it around. I happen to have a paintbrush. You could use a pencil, a pen, anything that's going to have kind of a round shape to it, and then I'm going to just cut it off. Now I used our old craft scissors. This is something that Stampin' Up! Sold a very long time ago. I've been told you can use your paper snips to cut this thin of a wire, but I don't really want to take the chance of of trying to mess up my good scissors. So there I have like the little spring. I don't know if you can see, I've got a straight piece on either side, and so that's what I'm going to use to tape it down. Now you can use I just pulled off some packing tape that I cut into little pieces. You can use the tear and tape and not take off the backing. Scotch tape, just something that's going to adhere this to the back of our little frog. So I'm going to set this down, and then I've just taped it on there. So that's one side. Now I think I'm gonna wind this up a little because I want to make sure that this is going to hide behind the frog, and that seems to be the bigger spot. So then I can come in with my second piece of the tape and place it over that straight piece of our wire, and then adhere him to the card. And so now he wobbles. Oops. And then I pull too hard. So you want him under the tape. Guess I got it too unsticky with my fingers. You want to make sure that you don't touch the back of the tape too much with your fingers, because the oils from your hands will transfer to the tape and then it won't stick as well. I think that's what I've done here. There we go, now we're sticking. Okay. And so there's our little wobbly frog. And then all we have to do is adhere it to the card front. So I'm just using some snail adhesive. And now we've made our wobble card. So I always decorate the inside. So I've got a second piece here. This is Whisper White that is 5 1/4 by 4 inches. And then we can bring back in our stamp set, which I have here is the So Hoppy Together. And I'm just going to decorate it up so that the inside of the card coordinates with the outside. To me, a card is just not finished until you've kind of decorated the inside. I mean, if you went to a card store, you know, American Greetings or Hallmark or whoever, they wouldn't give you a card that didn't have the inside stamped as well. So we want to make sure that we do that too. And then it came with a little crown, and because I'm Queen Bee Creations, the crown just kind of fits, right? So we'll set that on him. And then I used, out of the Well Said, So Happy You're Here, because I have a friend coming to visit hopefully soon, and I'll be able to leave this in our guest room when she comes to visit. So again, I'm just going to come in and color the frog really quickly. So there's that squeaking Barbara said she likes. Again, I'm just giving it swirls so that it blends together. Color the crown. Then I just stuck the butterfly up here in the corner. Again, you'll want to notice as I'm coloring, I tend to turn the cardstock. I've mentioned this before. It's because it's easier to color when your hand is in a relaxed position. And so this is the direction my hand is the most comfortable. And rather than twist my hand around to meet the card, I twist the card to meet my hand, if that makes sense. It's that way with cutting too. If you're fussy cutting, you want to make sure that you're not trying to take the scissors and go around in a circle. You want to turn the paper so that when you're cutting it, your hand is at a comfortable angle. So here we have an interior. And then don't forget, Stampin' Up! Also sells envelopes. So if you intend on leaving it out where you want it kind of hidden, you know, or you have to take to a party or you're going to mail it, you want to make sure you grab some envelopes. And then for the envelopes, we can decorate those as well. I've got some Tropical Chic designer series paper. I have the measurements for this on my blog, but this is how I store them. This is just a piece, I think it's maybe 6 1/4 with a 6 1/4 and then a 1/2 inch here and then whatever was left. But then I've just got a whole series of them and they're set in my container with the tabs. And I save the sticker from the outside of the pack because this will tell me all of the colors that are on the inside, and I want to make sure I hang on to that so that when I go to coordinate it, I don't have to guess what's in there. So to decorate the back of the envelope, what I'm just going to do is I'm going to find a piece of paper here that I think coordinates. I think that looks good. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put some adhesive on the edge. And then I'm going to take and line up my designer series paper with the fold line. And then turn it over to the back side and just trim off the excess. Now you can also line the inside if you want, but this to me is a little bit easier. We have a framelit that works well. I think it's one of our flower sets that will line the inside of an envelope. We used to have specific envelope liners, but we don't anymore. Let's see, which one was it? Oh, this one. Here we go. Beautiful layers. So I don't know if you can see this piece right here. If you use this is a very good shape for cutting designer series paper to line the inside of an envelope. So if you were missing the envelope liners, that's a good substitute. So there I have my card and my decorated envelope. Again, if you wanted to, we can come back in and stamp the front as well. You want to make sure that you don't interfere with what the Postal Service is going to want clear for their mailing, but you can always use this corner over here, and you could color it as well. So you could just have a really cute little set that's decorated and a card with the inside. So I hope you found today's tutorial useful and that you try giving the Wobble card a try. I know you can purchase specific Wobble parts, but it just was so easy to make one that I figured, you know, might as well just make it rather than spend money that I don't have to. So here's our card. Again, I didn't on the new one, but on this one I kind of wanted to make it grounding, so I sponged Mossy Meadow on the bottom only to represent kind of some grass. And then we've got our little wobble guy. So I hope you found that useful. Don't forget to comment. I need to put up last week's winner. So I will do that on the this post when it goes live. At the top I'll have the name of the person who won last week's drawing. You want to make sure that you are in on this week's. All you have to do is comment, like, share, all of those things, and you get entered into the drawing. You want to make sure that you are over at my blog and that you are signed up for my newsletter, because I do send out these things as they happen, and there are exclusive deals for just my customers in there as well. Plus you get a free PDF for signing up. So that's all I have for you today. I hope you like our little wobble card that we made today, and that you are excited about the last month of Sale-a-bration, and that you have your freebies on order or you've gotten them already. So if you have any questions, feel free to contact me, and otherwise I will see you back on the blog, and I'll be back at Facebook Live next Monday at 2:30. Thanks. Bye.